right from the 1960s, when Nigeria got its independence, the first coup, corruption was mentioned.
As in, how can the people now contribute in this fight against corruption?
When you look at it, fighting of corruption is not one man business. It's the teamwork. It's the teamwork. If we can come together and fight corruption, we can bury everything overnight.
As a citizen of Nigeria,
what can be done to make the society better? You know, as a woman here, you know, as a mother.
The society doesn't want to give these women opportunities because they think these women can come and dominate the role men play in the society.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the program Corruption and Society. My name is Jack Vincent Fidelis and I'm your anchorman. On the program, as usual, we have a lineup of activities for your listening and viewing pleasure. First and foremost, we'll do our usual discussion program, and then we have other activities including the Vox Pop and our mini documentary. But before we continue with the program, I will allow you to listen to this.
Nigeria, a country endowed with a plethora of human and natural resources, from the fringes of the Sahara to the shores of the Atlantic. What reason has Nigeria to be plagued by socio-economic problems when it has all it takes to be great? Why should the financial stance of the country and its economic indices be unfavorable? Only a purposeful, committed, and goal-oriented leadership can affect the dynamics necessary for the desired change. Only citizens with a penchant for due process can keep the leadership on its toes to sustain the gains of anti-corruption and accountability in governance. Political leaders must have impeccable credibility and be accountable to the masses, shun embezzlement and all forms of corruption in order to make provisions for a viable economy, dependable education and healthcare systems, and all necessary amenities needed for citizens to have a better life. This message was brought to you courtesy of the MacArthur Foundation and Center for Information Technology and Development, CTAD.
On our discussion program today, we had a discussion with no other but Dr. Abdul Muttalib Ado of the Department of Mass Communication, University of Maiduguri, on the topic corruption and education. Have a great listening and see you at the other end.
Why is illiteracy still a major problem in our society today?
Well, there are so many reasons why we are having illiteracy, or the level of illiteracy in northern Nigeria is high. If you look at statistics from all agencies, one of the reasons is poor governance.
Poor governance?
Yes. The political elite in the northern Nigeria are not sincere about education.
Educating the masses?
They are not sincere educating the masses. They are not sincere in educating the voters.
Why do you think so?
Because education is the means through which you can change the society.
That's true.
You can change how things are, especially if they are bad.
That's true.
And most of our political leaders are not willing to change the status quo, because some of them, they will be relegated to the background.
When you do that?
Certainly.
Why? Okay, explain.
Because there are some people in northern Nigeria, if you educate them, they are more innovative, they are more creative, they are more sincere, and they are willing to give to the society. So if you educate them, they will be ready to do that. And some of those leaders that we have today, they don't have that sincerity, they don't have that commitment, and they're not willing to give back to the society. So because of that, they will not be able to educate people. Because once you educate them, you have somebody who's more capable, who's willing to change for better, then they'll do that. Then secondly, they still want that subservient thing from the masses. So if you educate them, Nobody will come and be staying on your side of your house for the whole day.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Just to give.
Certainly. So it is the combination of these things actually that have made this illiteracy level high in northern Nigeria.
Okay, personally, I'm happy to hear from you that your mention of northern Nigeria specifically, and now the highest number of out-of-school children in Nigeria is recorded in northern Nigeria.
Certainly.
This cannot go on forever.
Exactly.
So
we have to change it.
We have to change it.
Yes.
What is the best way to do this?
Well, one of the best way, to be sincere,
that's true,
is to reduce the birth rate.
The bad what?
Rate.
Okay.
The way at which we give birth.
Birth rate?
Yes, birth rate.
It's high.
It's high. You see somebody with maybe low income, but he has maybe 20, 30 children.
Or more children.
Yes. And these children were assets when we are living in a more agrarian society.
That's true.
Because you push them to the farm.
Yeah.
And the number of children you have, then the amount of food you produce.
That's true.
But today, things have changed.
A lot.
So because of that, if we do not reduce the number of children we produce on a daily basis, there is tendency for us not to reduce the number of illiteracy.
Wow.
Because if I have 20 children and I can't feed myself, I can't sponsor my children to go to school.
This brings us to the...
so there is issue of control of, that is the issue of
birth rate.
Birth control.
You said so.
There is issue of, that is what you call population, reduction of population.
You will want the government to bring out policies to reduce the birth or what?
Certainly it's not about,
or to sensitize the people
it's
to
not
reduce.
It's not about the policy.
Okay.
And I think it's not about even sensitization.
So what is
because
it about?
People are aware. It is about, acting, working properly. So some people will need to change our attitude. Information enters your head. You get the information, but you can't act based on the information.
That's true.
So it's not about the policy.
Okay.
People should think deeply and ask yourself, if you leave this world, are you living it better or worse?
That's true.
And in most cases, if you realize that you have 10 children and all of them are thugs, most of them are sleeping under tree. Maybe we don't have bridges, but recently we have bridges. Maybe you see some of them sleeping on that bridge in the marketplaces, any place that is sufficient. Then you are not living the society in a good form.
You're right. You see, I have lived in northern Nigeria my whole life, and I understand that some people give birth to multiple children because they will send them all across the country to go do what we call almajirinchi. Now, almajirinchi in itself is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because originally they are sent to go learn Quranic education and all that. But there's something that has been discovered over the years. People have done research on these things and have found out that these children who do almajirinchi, they don't know the Quran, or better still, they don't study as hard as those who go to Islamia from their parents' homes.
Yes, that is when you talk about the issue of literacy or illiteracy. It's the ability to read and write.
That's true.
And most of these children, they cannot read.
Yeah.
And some of them, they cannot write. So that is why they are still illiterate. And they cannot write in Western education form, and they cannot write Eastern education, either through Arabic or... So it means they are completely illiterate. And as I said, one of the reasons is that the political class, has its own problem. Then even the traditional class or the traditional society also have our own problem, because in most cases, if you have the subject, you are the king, or you are an emir,
opinion leaders and all
you are an opinion leader, and you still want people to come and get handout from you. You don't want them to give you. So unless and until we change this attitude, certainly the level of illiteracy in northern Nigeria will likely be increasing.
Wow.
Because even in the schools that we have, you realize that the person who teaches is also illiterate.
Yeah, that's true.
Either numerically or otherwise. So how do you expect them to make people literate? people are illiterate. You go to classes, there are no rooms. We don't have community schools. If you go to other, maybe in southern Nigeria, there are community schools.
Of course, that's true.
But here, hardly you get a community school. That is from the maybe kindergarten.
It's as if education is not a priority.
Education is not a priority. What is priority is getting money.
Okay, what is the position of religious leaders in all this? Because I understand that when this issue of al-Majorinchi comes up, when this issue of educating the girl child comes up, when the issue of educating the young people of northern Nigeria comes up, religion is brought into it.
Yeah.
And that scares a lot of people. Some people who will want to bring out these policies or these measures you are advocating, they may be scared how people will look at it.
It's part of the moral, religious, and societal responsibility on parents.
Thank you very much.
And if they cannot do that, it means religiously they are failed.
That's true.
And culturally they are failed. So in that case, then people are misusing the religion.
I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Viewer, in case you're just joining us, the program is Corruption and Society. Our topic today is corruption and education. My name is Jack Vincent Fidelis, your host, and I'm still in the studio with my guests, a senior lecturer of the Department of Mass Communication, University of Maiduguri, Dr. Abdul Muttalib Ado. Now, we are going to look at corruption, how corruption affects education in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, in a very simple term, if
Yes.
maybe the money that should be allocated
Yes.
to education, or to be appropriated to education,
Yes.
is appropriated to areas that are less important. For example, political electioneering or other things like that. Then it means a corruption because we are misappropriating the fund.
That's true.
Then if you appropriate the fund for example, training of teachers, provision of teaching materials, establishment of schools, and you refuse to allocate the money to such places and maybe you support the money, then it means we will not have trained and qualified teachers.
That's true.
We will not have classes where students can sit or pupils to sit and learn. Then we cannot have the structure.
Okay.
And some situations, even if we have the structure, we have the facilities. If the facilities are substandard, it means the education is affected.
That's true.
It will just last, maybe instead of lasting for the next 10 years, it just lasts in the next 5 years. Which means the next 5 years that will come, it means pupils and students will not have place to read, to stay, and there are no facilities to read. So it is the accumulation of this that will affect the quality of people you produce.
That's
whether they're able to read, whether they're able to write, whether they're able to think. And if these facilities are not there, then people are not able to think. And if the education does not give you opportunity to think independently, then certainly you became poor, and you'll not be able to produce and contribute in producing things that will make the society better.
Thank you very much. Finally, because of time, I would like you to tell us quickly, given the opportunity, if you are given the opportunity, placed in a position of decision making, what will you do?
Difficult thing in life, actually.
What will you do differently?
Well, one, I think, is improvement on your own level of sincerity.
As a leader?
As a leader.
All right.
What you say is what you believe and is what you will do. And I think I will try as much as I can at my own level, because I'm also a leader already. From the household up to maybe another stage that I am here. So I'm a leader. So what I'm trying to do is to improve my level of sincerity. Then when you give responsibility to those who will support you, disappointment, make sure you give to people who you absolutely believe that they will deliver.
That's true. Regardless of religion,
and whatever. Then if they will do something that will affect you as a person or affect your tribe, then think about the overall majority.
Okay.
So if the overall majority will benefit and you lose, that's the most important thing. Assuming I want to make people literate. And I have a son. And if what I will give to my son only educate him alone, and do not educate others, then it's better to give others and to leave your child, in a more lower level. Because one day they will come and support you. Because one person may not be able to change the society. Then maybe if you have maybe 10, 20, 30 who are capable and properly trained to make that change. So I think we need to do that, sacrifice, sincerity, and we'll always be, open and accept things even if they affect us. Right. I think these are the things that we need to start inculcating. Right. And if you cannot deliver, don't even take it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That is the much we can bring you on these segments of the program Corruption and Society. I hope you had a great time listening to that wonderful discussion that we had with Dr. Abdul Muttalib Ado of the Department of Mass Communication, University of Maiduguri. At this point, we'll go over to the street to sample opinion of respondents on the same topic. Have a great listening.
My name is Dr. Abakar Othman of the Department of English and Literary Studies. Corruption has seriously affected education in Nigeria, as you can see. You are in the university here, you have seen the environment. Were it not for the little effort made by ASU in those days to introduce TED fund, the university system would have collapsed by now. And that is why the corruption comes in now. Even the TED fund we established with clear-cut policies and programs has been hijacked by government and is corrupted and is not impacting, the way we wanted it to do. Don't mind the buildings you see around constructed by TED fund. The buildings are empty. They are empty and substandard. They are empty buildings. This is one of the effects of corruption. ASU thought a very good idea. Without government spending a nickel to do this work. We established, we brought out this idea of TED fund. We told government where to get the money and they got the money and they saw that a lot of money was coming in. They hijacked it. So TED fund has become more of a child of government than the university system. They may tell that they are doing contracts here, doing this, sponsoring here and there. Everything was selectively done. So TED fund is a failure. One effect of corruption. Many other sides you can see with corruption. Look at the budget, even as negligible as it is, how much of it comes to the university? Negligible. And that affects research and teaching. I can't remember when last this university sponsored its staff to go abroad, even to Ghana, to study or to attend conferences. I can't remember. I've stayed here for over 30 years. I've been here since 1983 to death. In those days, just fill a form and you find yourself wherever you want to be in the country. So when we talk of corruption, it is not just in the government, even in the way the university is run. The university administration itself is full of corruption. And it affects academics. You can't go anywhere to study or to do or attend conferences. Yet the system requires you to attend foreign conferences, to be promoted. And the university does not provide the means that you can go outside. You see, as recently as 2 weeks ago, one parliamentarian, in the Senate, I think, yes, made that move to have a law banning public servants, politicians, and other policymakers from sending their wards, children and wards, to institutions outside the country. That man was nearly lynched by his fellow senators for saying that. I guess these are the people you are referring to as making policies for education. It means educational policies are made by wrong people. Wrong, absolutely wrong people. The quality, the type of parliamentarians we have no business talking about education at all, because it is not their interest. Same thing with the people you find in the ministries. Therefore, because they don't send their children to universities in the country, because their children studied abroad, they don't even know the problems of the Nigerian universities. Look at the Minister for Education. I don't think this man has ever stepped into a university. The way he behaves, as if he has never been to the university, and he has the whole of his family studying abroad. Look at the president himself. The whole of his family studying abroad. All those in the position of policy making send their children abroad. And because of that, they don't even know there's university in the country. And when they mention the university and they put the university in the budget, they are saying they are just using that as an excuse to siphon money, not to give money into that system. Because they have nothing to lose until we make it a law that every public office holder must send their children to school within the country. Then the school, right from the primary school up to the university, can only continue going down. There will be no progress in that. Because those who ought to protect the system don't patronize us.
My name is Professor Yakub Ahmed Gaidam. I am a professor of veterinary medicine from University of Maiduguri. Well, corruption affects every facet of life. Specifically when you talk about education, corruption has grievously dealt with education. The simple fact that if you compare how the conditions and situations that we were in the university in those days, incomparable to what is obtainable in the situation in Nigeria now, you will clearly know that corruption has dealt with education. Simply from the fact that issues and things that are ordinarily normal or ordinarily obtainable in those days are no longer feasible or are no longer attainable in our university's situation nowadays. So by looking at every aspect you pick on education, you will clearly know that corruption has dealt with education. Simple when you look at responsibilities of whatever that we do, the aspect of projects, aspects of supply of consumables, aspect of classrooms, and even from the quality of buildings. Look at the University of Maiduguri, for example, the buildings of nowadays, the buildings that we compare to the ones that we inherited from NECAS. Even from the quality of that, you will know that clearly corruption has seriously affected education.
You are welcome back. I hope you had a great time. At this point, we'll leave you with our very last segment for today, a mini documentary on the same topic. Have a great viewing.
It is no secret that northern Nigeria is plagued by illiteracy and the highest number of out-of-school children in the country. A whopping 13 million school-age children across Nigeria are currently out of school. 69% of this number are from northern Nigeria, a region bedeviled by the social problems like insecurity, poverty, and hunger, according to a UNICEF report. Compared to the other developing countries, the literacy rate in Nigeria is relatively low, as it sits at 59.6% against Botswana's 88.5%, Zimbabwe's 86.5%, and Ghana's 76.6%, according to a UNESCO report. This poor rate undoubtedly has negative effects on the national development of the country. Among others, poverty, low standard of living, increase in crime and incarceration rates, increase in cases of child marriage, and increase in drug and alcohol abuse. Other vices that are caused by illiteracy include increase in the level of unemployment, poor health and increase in child and adult mortality, risk of intergenerational illiteracy and its impediment on national development. Across Nigeria, dilapidated school structures dot the landscape, and bad leadership and corruption over the years are factors that are also responsible for the poor level of education in the country. In order to change the poor state of primary education in the country, the government needs to make primary education a priority, come up with policies that will encourage school enrollment to ensure Nigeria regains its pride of place in the Committee of Nations.